Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I am here tonight on our Monday night date, 2023. In fact, it's February 20th, 2023, and I'm going to be talking about some things going on this week in astrology, some important things that I think you should know about. And we had a big day today in astrology. I'm going to wait for a few people to jump on here and join us tonight live. I am going to be recording live on my Monday night broadcast on Facebook, but I'm also going to be co-recording onto YouTube. So I have two cameras going, so if you see me looking up and down, that is why. And if you're just joining me tonight, go ahead and post below your astrological sign and where you're tuning in from, because you know I love to hear all about that. And it's wonderful to see everybody. There's still a lot of people joining right now, so I'm going to give everybody a second to kind of jump on. But we had a big day in astrology today on Monday the 20th, and I'm going to go over a little bit of that and what happened over the weekend and stuff. And then I'm going to go into what is going on this week in astrology. It is, I always hesitate to say it's a little bit lighter in astrology, because it seems like whenever I say that, boom, something big happens on the news or whatever. But if you're just joining live, go ahead and post below. Andrea, welcome. Aries and Gemini, Cancer. That's awesome. Amazing. Melinda, welcome. Also from Vermont, Capricorn, welcome. Sarah, Taurus, in Vermont, welcome. Love seeing you guys here. Yeah, we had a big new moon today. It was technically last night or overnight between Sunday and Monday. So the 19th to the 20th, and that was in Pisces, the super moon in Pisces. I went over that in great detail last week, but we did have the new moon today. It was at 2:06 a.m. Eastern time, so 11:06 p.m. if you were out on the West Coast on Sunday night. So Sunday into Monday this week, and it was a super moon, which means that it is very, very close to the Earth, even though we can't see it. A couple people commented on my video, oh, I wish I could see it. Well, you're not going to see it. It's the new moon. It's also called the dark moon because it looks like there's no moon out there. And the reason why is because the sun and the moon are kind of like eclipsing one another a little bit. They're both in the sign of Pisces right now. Somebody said I'm glowing. Well, I put an extra light on me because I felt like I was dark the last couple times I was on Facebook. So I might be too bright now. But anyway, so the moon is dark, but even though we can't see it with the naked eye, it doesn't matter, because both in astronomy and in astrology, it's still an event that's happening. And also, the gravitational pull is very, very close to the Earth. So we are feeling this more. Now, this is the second super new moon out of 3 in a row. So January, in fact, out of all of 2023, the moon is the closest to the Earth in January 2023. That was the closest the moon is going to be all year. So, and then February, we're having another super new moon. And then in March, we're having another new moon. So we had 3 super new moons in a row, January, February, and March. And so these are great new moons for manifesting for sure. Melinda said it's my inner glow. Oh, you're so nice. Almir, welcome. Taurus, Cancer moon, and Sagittarius rising. We're talking all about the moon right now. And this is great. So anybody else who's joining, and make sure you like, you share, because that's how the good word gets spread and the algorithm on Facebook starts to kind of get going. Oh, yay, Rosalie. Hey, Capricorn in Vermont, welcome. So hit that like button and then go ahead and share. You can also tag some friends too if you want to have some friends join the broadcast too, and let them know that I am live right now on Monday night. So basically we had the super new moon. Now, the other special thing about today, and if you guys saw my post today on my tidbit, today in numerology, it was also an 11 day. And so 11 is a very special number. It's a master soul number, a master number. And so if you think about, if you guys forgot to write your list, today is the day to write that list. I'll tell you, like, I can't think, it's going to be the super new moon, and it's also an 11 numeral in numerology. So it's a great time to go ahead and manifest, manifest, manifest. And 11 is a master number. And so 11 is a complex number. Remember, you know, as we get higher and higher, we think about mastery as in perfection and it's wonderful. No, it just means we're at the PhD level. So it doesn't mean that there's not things happening. In fact, there was, you know, gosh, over the weekend, there was a lot of even more shootings and different things that were happening. I was talking about how this particular new moon, because it's a super moon, when we feel that gravitation, it can almost feel like a full moon, because it's like very, like, it's pulling us, you know, we have that gravitational pull, and it's kind of hardcore. Andrea said 11 is the best. Naomi, welcome. Thanks for joining. Wendy, hello. Scorpio, Sun, Virgo, Moon, and Rising. Wow, double Virgo right there. That's awesome. And so basically we had the super new moon and the 11 number. So today is the day to write your new moon manifestation list. If you forgot, it's okay. Go ahead and write it tonight while we still have the magic of the number 11 and also the magic of the new moon being activated. It's a wonderful thing. We're still within that bubble period of time. It hasn't yet kind of expired. Now, the moon is going to be leaving Pisces on Wednesday overnight at 12:14 a.m. So just after midnight on Wednesday morning, and it'll go into Aries then. So that's when the Pisces moon will be concluding. However, tomorrow night, it's going to start being void of course. So it's one of those things that you want to write it kind of now or at the latest, like Tuesday morning. And that is going to be a thing that is a good time frame to write that new moon manifestation list. Now, if you forget how to write it, I'm going to just review very quickly. You want to write out all the things that you would like. And how I write my list is almost like a thank you letter. Like, thank you so much, angels, for bringing me this and this and this and this. And I write it as affirmative, as if they are sending me those things. Thank you so much for all of the wonderful good health that you're blessing me with. Thank you so much for all of the wonderful blessings of abundance and prosperity that you're, you know, whatever it is that you want on your list. I write it in an affirmation as if it already is happening, and I'm thanking them for that. That's how I write my list. You can write your list however you want, but I've had great success with my list writing. So I like to pass on these tips and tricks. I state it as if it's already going to be here. And then you put it under your pillow for 2 weeks, and then you burn or destroy it on the next full moon, which is going to be on March 7th, 2023. And that full moon is going to be in Virgo. So Virgos, heads up, everybody. Rita Virgo just joined us tonight on the broadcast, and Wendy with that Virgo moon and rising. That's going to be your full moon. Okay. So, that'll be, coming, like I said, on March 7th. So that's when you burn or destroy the list. And I've had people ask me, why burn the list? Okay. Because it's a symbolic thing where you're just releasing it to the universe. You're releasing it out, and you're saying, thanks. Like you got it. Like some people say, well, I want to hold on to my list, or I want to do whatever. No, you can release that list and let it go into the universe, because it's kind of like you're acknowledging the universe is going to take care of you. So you don't have to like keep worrying and focusing on the list. In fact, I would say don't do that, because worrying doesn't bring things. Worrying keeps things away. Okay. So I really want you guys to hear that. Remember that. Virgo is the sign most strongly associated with worry. Yes, every sign can worry, but I think Virgos do worry like a full-time job. So I'm just saying. So we want to make sure we're in trust, we're in faith, and we're releasing the wonderful note or letter that you're writing. Mercedes, hello, Canadian. Oh, hi, welcome. Cancer, Joanne, hey, Taurus from Vermont. Eve, also from Canada. Welcome, Scorpio. I love our Canadian neighbors. I love that it's an international broadcast. That's a really cool thing. Rita said, "Oh heck yes, Virgo worries like no other." It's a thing. I'm gonna say. So. Today also, the other thing that we are going into is we are starting Venus in Aries today. Now, yes, it just started today, Venus in Aries, but it's going to continue from today on February 20th, 2023, all the way over until March 16th of 2023. So Venus astrological signs usually when Venus transits are usually about almost 1 month, mostly about 1 month, unless if it's retrograde. We are going to have a Venus retrograde this year. It only happens like roughly once every year and a half. And 2023 in the summertime, when Venus is in Leo, around August to September, we are going to have a Venus retrograde. And I keep telling all y'all about Venus retrograde coming. This is very important if you're going to be getting a haircut, if you're going to have plastic surgery or a cosmetic procedure scheduled. You do not ever want to do that during a Venus retrograde. So it's you have to be very careful when scheduling those things in Venus retrograde time frames. And that, like I said, we don't have to worry about that until the summer, but a lot of us like to plan ahead, and I like to mention that. So what is going on with Venus in Aries? Okay. So here's the deal with Venus and Aries. You know, remember that book a long time ago, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus? That's because, or maybe it was the opposite, but that's because Venus archetypally is female. She represents female like sensuality and like art and beauty. She was Aphrodite in Greek mythology. And Mars is the god of war. Well, the ruler of Aries is Mars. So this particular Venus is a tough guy, Venus, you know. She's a little more gruff in the sign of Aries, and it's almost like the masculine and the feminine here are a little sort of discombobulated. It's a little kind of mixed up because Aries is considered to be archetypally a more masculine sign. So it's a little bit more dominant, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more proactive. So with Venus and Aries, we really have to keep in mind that, what do you call it? I don't know, like you don't want to be, how do I say, too aggressive, or like remembering that we can say that you have to accept or say no, you know, those types of things. So that can be a little weird for Venus to be this aggressive in the sign of Aries. Now, it does happen every year. We go through this Venus and Aries every single year that we've been alive so far. So it is something that basically we want to keep in mind. Now, so how do I say this? So if you're a lady and you're a female and you are wanting to, like, you have to kind of watch, because you could be a little too aggressive, and then the men could be also even more aggressive. So it's kind of like, in other words, it gives us a more of an aggressiveness or more of an assertiveness, and we have to watch that. I know a lot of Venus and Aries people that are very much about the hunt and the conquest and the, I gotta find my mate and, I don't know, drag them back to my cave by their hair. And that's definitely not what Venus usually does. Venus is so gentle usually and romantic and sensual, and she's more archetypally feminine, so she's more into the divine feminine. So that's a little bit of an uncomfortable Venus sign. Now, do any of you have Venus and Aries out there? Andrea tagging people, I love that. Sarah, hey, welcome. Aquarius in Boston. I love that. Sarah tagging people too. I love that. So yeah. So if anybody has Venus in Aries, or if you have any Aries placements in your chart, in your natal birth chart, you will be feeling this Venus energy. Now, it's not all bad. It's just that Mars ruled Venus with Aries being in Venus, or Venus being in Aries, is definitely going to be, like I said, just a little bit more gruff and not quite as refined, and not quite as looking at subtlety and the nuance and being a little bit more delicate and whatever. It's more of like a hit you over the head Venus. But this can be very, very beneficial for people who are Aries. So if you are an Aries, anytime Venus is in your sign, that's beneficial. She's considered to be a very beneficial, because Venus rules romance, and she also rules over finances. So money and love. Okay. So think about that. So if you are a fire sign, if you're an Aries or a Sagittarius or a Leo, this is going to kind of fire you up in that love romantic department. If you're an air sign, that can also be very beneficial. Fire needs air, air needs fire. So it's kind of like a symbiotic thing. So that's a very good relationship. Now, if you're an earth sign, that can be a little bit more of a challenge. If you have Venus in an earth sign, that could be a little bit more of a challenge. But even so, Venus is not usually considered to be challenging. Yeah, typically, unless if there's some kind of a thing where in your chart Venus in some way is afflicted. Nobody commented on Venus and Aries here. So I guess there's no Venus and Aries watching tonight, but it is a thing, and we all benefit from Venus's love vibes and financial vibes. Now, remember when I talked about being proactive and, hunting and, doing all that stuff? That can be something that's very good if you're looking to make money, because you might need to be proactive and go after your spoils and your riches, and so if you're looking for money and you're looking for financial stuff, Venus can help you to be proactive. But you got to watch that again, especially if you are a female and you're a little bit more maybe old-fashioned, and we could come across as being a little too aggressive, and sometimes that can be turn off instead of turn on. There are definitely people out there that have aggressive Venuses and they like to be the hunter, and then there are other Venus signs that like to be the huntee, that like to be pursued and be wooed and have all the flowers and the candy brought to them. And so if you are one of those, you might, I don't know, it might be something that could make you a little bit more aggressive or whatever in the love department. Now, this could also be proactive in the way of, like, maybe you're just sitting there at home by yourself and you're wishing for your love partner to fall through the roof. Well, this could help you to kind of get a little push or a little nudge to get on a dating app, or to go out to an outing and maybe meet some new people, or saying yes to a friend that has been wanting to introduce you to somebody new. This could help you to be able to push you in that direction, and that could be a good thing. Hello, Suzanne from Chicago. Welcome. Andrea said Aries sun. Yes, love and money coming my way. Right, yeah. So if you are an Aries sun sign, moon sign, Venus sign, this is going to benefit you. Same goes for Leo, same goes for Sagittarius, and even the air signs. Now, the one that challenges is Libra. Okay, so the Venus and all Aries energy challenges Libra because it's Libra's opposite sign. So you might be feeling like, oh, the Libra in you might be like, oh, this is offensive. I don't like all this pushing and aggressiveness. And so for Libra, that challenges you. Even though you're an air sign, it would kind of be something that might you might take offense to it in some way. So that is basically what the deal is with Venus and Aries. So Venus and Aries can be all Venus signs are very beneficial in some way, shape, or form. She's the goddess of love and beauty. And if you're an artist, this is kind of like in your face art, you know, it's like a fire installation or some kind of thing. Venus and Aries can be very good, again, for making you, maybe if you're shy, like this could help you, you know? I mean, if you're somebody that's been sitting on the couch wishing that you could like paint a picture or compose a song, this could be good for you too. So it really, I mean, a lot of Aries are very creative. I know when you read like online and, you know, or whatever, like people's blogs, we sort of talk about astrology very archetypally, like, you know, but in real life, I've seen tons and tons and tons of very creative Aries. Lady Gaga, okay, Reese Witherspoon. There's a lot of very creative Aries people out there. Robert Downey Jr., who not only is an actor, but also a singer. Eddie Murphy, not only an actor and a comedian, but also a singer. You know what I mean? Like, these are all people that have like a lot of, you know, creative tools in their toolbox. And so I would say this could also be good for that too, if you work in that type of a field, or if you've been just wanting to create something or be more artistic or something like that. That could help you, again, nudge you. But if you're already somebody who's a little too domineering, a little too aggressive, a little too, you know, filled with testosterone and a hunter-gatherer, well, this will make you even more so. And that won't be good for you. So I hope that helps. But basically it is something that it's good to have. And so we're going to be getting our Venus and Aries on, and like I said, it's going to be active. It started today on Monday the 20th at 2:56 a.m. Eastern time, and then it's going to be going all the way until March 16th 2023 at 6:34 p.m. Eastern time. So we have almost a month, a full month, like 3+ weeks there of Venus and Aries. And that's really the only big planetary thing happening this week as far as planets on the move goes. However, we do have a bunch of transits happening. And so I'm going to go over some of that. And two of them are involving Mercury. Now, unfortunately, as you guys probably heard on the news, and again, I don't dwell on the news. I don't really like look at the news a whole lot. But I definitely read headlines and people tell me things, and that's not an open invitation. I have people like texting me like, because you don't watch the news, here's the news. And then they text me all these news articles. I'm like, no, I don't really want that. Thank you. So kind of stresses me out, but you guys probably heard about the big earthquake in Turkey and Syria. I think 46,000 people died. Well, there was just another earthquake today. And so I wanted to kind of print out the, I went online and I sort of researched where approximately the earthquake took place, the heart of it. And I put in some distance circles. The heart of it is where the epicenter of the earthquake is in Turkey. Here's Syria right here. And you can see there's a yellow line running through that area and also a pink line running through that area on the side here. It is within the distance circle, but a little bit further out. I don't know where the earthquake, which was a more minor earthquake today in Syria and in Turkey. I don't know exactly where the epicenter was, but this is the epicenter of the big one that happened, I guess was a week ago or so. Anyway, today, this is the map, and this is Mercury is the yellow line. Mercury, and the other one is Uranus. Now, shocker, you guys know I always talk about Uranus all the time. In reference to earthquakes. Wherever Uranus is, there's usually some kind of earthquake activity. Even off of the east coast is the Uranus line. It's out to sea a little bit. But there's been some activity up in New England. There's been, you know, it's nothing like this. I mean, because they're on, you know, a more active fault line or whatever you call it. But it still is active. So I wanted to talk about what is happening because Mercury is forming a square with Uranus The peak of it is tomorrow, but you can see they're very sort of close within that range together in the map. I mean, it's not all the way over here. They're right in the same distance circle. So Mercury is forming a square with Uranus. The peak or height of it is going to be tomorrow on the 21st of February at 5:22 p.m. Eastern time. So that's the peak of Mercury square Uranus. But even today, Venus formed a semi-square with Uranus at 8:42 a.m. Eastern time today. So on Monday, Venus is semi-square Uranus. Tomorrow, Mercury semi-square Uranus. And then on Wednesday, Mercury is going to trine Mars. So Mercury and Uranus, you guys know, I've told you, are the two live wires of the zodiac. That's what kind of the astrologers have nicknamed them, because they both affect electricity. They both can be erratic. They can both be jarring and shaking. They can both produce problems with the electric system of the body, seizures, migraines, palpitations, any kind of spasms, any kind of thing where the electric system of the body is activated. Mercury and Uranus kind of both, especially Uranus, can really affect that in the body. And Mercury, you know, we talk about Mercury retrograde, right? Like, can cause glitches and stuff. I've even had people texting me and calling me going, is Mercury retrograde right now? No, but it's going to feel like a Mercury retrograde, at least the beginning of this week. We might have even been feeling it starting over the weekend, getting into this week. And like I said, the peak and the height of it is today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, where Mercury is going to be very, very active. And Mercury current time is in the astrological sign of Aquarius. So we have Mercury in Aquarius here. Well, who's the ruler of Aquarius? Uranus. So you see, this is a Uranus ruled Mercury. So we have kind of like a double bubble there going on with Uranus, and Mercury's in Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. And then we have Uranus activated, and they're squaring each other. Square is, think squaring off. Like, square means they're not getting along right now. Uranus is in Taurus, and Mercury is in Aquarius. So if you are a Taurus or if you are an Aquarius, you're going to be feeling this. You're in the heart of the middle of it. Like, you're in the epicenter, okay? In the middle of the dot there, okay? So you'll be feeling that energy. Now, it's crazy stuff that comes out of nowhere. That's typically what happens going on. Melinda said, is there second, from what I saw very briefly on the news report, it is a second earthquake, probably an aftershock, I'm sure, but it was the second earthquake happen. Kelly said, same here with the news. Yes, welcome, Kelly. Suzanne needs a reading. Well, text me, or you can send me a private message through Facebook if that's more comfortable for you. If you guys ever want an astrological reading or session with me. But yeah, so there's a lot of energy, and I thought you might be interested in pulling up the map of that Syria, Turkey sort of location, because I like to show how do these things really affect our lives. Like, I can talk to you about what Mercury and Uranus mean, but to see it like in real, kind of print here, it's very fascinating that they both are in this area in Turkey and Syria. And yes, it's literally causing shakeups and unexpected events. Weird things from out of nowhere. That's kind of a Uranus Mercury sort of deal. And whenever the two of them, it is kind of like a little crazy sort of energy. And like I said, it can cause problems with cell phones and cars and technology and computers and internet routers and all kinds of like weird things. So it's good to be able to kind of know that and be prepared for that. Make sure you bring your cell phone, make sure you bring a charger, stuff like that. So that's happening right now. So if you are a Taurus, you are Aquarius, you're in the heart or in the middle of it, but it doesn't matter because we are all under the ripple of this thing. They're, in other words, stressing each other out in the sky, and then we are getting the reverberations from that sort of cosmic stress, if you will. So that's going to be happening. Like I said, the height of it, the peak of it is actually tomorrow night on Tuesday, the 21st, 5:22 p.m. Eastern time. And then also on Wednesday, Mercury is going to form a trine with Mars. Now, yes, that's good. Trines are good, but you got to know who the players are. And right now, Mercury is under some stress. So Mercury is going to be fraternizing, if you will, with Mars, the god of war. We were just talking about Mars a little bit ago. And if you guys are enjoying this broadcast, please like and share, and comment below your astrological sign if you're just joining us live tonight here on Facebook. But Mercury trine Mars could be a good thing. Again, if you need to sell something, if you need to speak, orate, teach, write, do any kind of thing like that, Mercury and Mars meeting up together, but there's always a but, isn't there? Like I always say, people pressure me a lot to say, is this good or bad? Is this good or bad? Is this good or is it bad? Well, it's neither. It just is what it is. And the good or bad connotation sort of, how do I say this? It's sort of like, how is the energy channeled through you? Okay, so if you are a very aggressive speaker and somebody that's very like in someone's face and a little bit too, well, Mercury aligning with Mars, the god of war, could be too much for you. But if you're shy, if you're reserved, if you need to speak up more, if you need to stick up for yourself, then that could help you. So see how like some people it might be too much and some people it's good. And so this is a good time when Mercury is trine Mars on Wednesday. 3:14 p.m. Eastern time is the peak or the height of it. 12:14 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast. But also you could encounter somebody who is aggressive toward you. I mean, that can be, it's not just how you're acting, but it's also how we interact with the world. So, you know, we just want to kind of, obviously we don't ever want to accept abuse or less than behavior, but if somebody's a little aggressive, it's just like, all right, whatever, you know, especially driving. I have found with Uranus and Mars and Mercury, that could be kind of accident. So please be careful driving, give people a lot of distance and space. You know, everybody's in a rush, people are shaking their fist, whatever. And we want to just back off and say, okay, I'm going to take my time and just like, I'm going to be there when I'm there, you know, and that kind of thing. So I hope that helps. So that's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And like I said, unfortunately, this area in the world, Turkey and Syria, are really under the like height of this thing. And you can see Mercury's right on that epicenter. I'm trying to show both cameras here, is right on the epicenter. And then we have Uranus there too. So earthquakes, unexpected events, shakeups. That's kind of what the deal is. Now on Thursday, Mars is going to form a semisquare with Chiron. Now, normally during these broadcasts, I don't discuss semisquares because they're considered to be minor and whatever, but I think this is a good honorable mention because Saturn, you know, is way out there and Chiron is kind of way out there. And that is an opportunity for healing, but there could be something that we need to heal from. And so that might feel a little stressful when that comes up. The height or peak of that is going to be at 11:31 a.m. Eastern time on 2/23/2023. That is going to be an interesting also date, the 2323 number there. But Saturn's going to form a semisquare with Chiron. Saturn is very much at the very end degree of Aquarius. Again, we got Aquarius energy right here. And then we have Chiron in Aries. And so these two forming a semisquare. Semisquare is literally half of a square. So if square is stressful, this is less stressful than a full square. But it still is a little sticky point. So it means that something kind of comes up for us to heal. And then with Chiron being available, actually, there could be a big breakthrough. It could be because we have to be a little bit more flexible, a little less stubborn. You know, with Saturn around, Saturn's not a very like open to suggestions kind of dude. Okay, we'll just say that. So with Saturn around, we want to be more open and flexible. Oh, I could change. I could change the way this happens. I could soften a little bit. Remember that Venus in Aries is not exactly soft. So we want to soften a little bit and kind of just be open. We'll be open. And that Chiron there could really help us to heal something, because that's Chiron's specialty. Chiron was called the wounded healer, and Chiron's specialty is healing. But with Saturn there, Saturn can be a little bit of a curmudgeon, a little bit, we'll just say stubborn in his ways. Now, Friday, the sun is going to form a sextile with the north node of the moon. That's going to be an interesting sort of thing. The sun is now in Pisces. The north node of the moon is in Scorpio. And so having those two together in a sextile is a very positive thing. At 1:01 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, this is all about manifesting your dreams. So I'm kind of coming back around to this new moon, the manifestation, the 11 number that we are in today. The north node of the moon is, where are you headed in this lifetime? Where do you want to go? What's your dream? What's your plan? What's your future? The north node of the moon has a big word associated with it, which I call destiny. It's fate or destiny. And there is always something karmic going on when there's the north node of the moon is active. And right now, I'm sorry, I apologize. I said Scorpio. Right now, the sun is going to be sextile, the north node of the moon in Taurus. I apologize. Yes, Kelly said north node in Taurus. You caught me. Yep. Thank you for clarifying that. The south node of the moon is in Scorpio. Taurus and Scorpio are the north node and the south node are always opposite each other. And so then with the north node of the moon being in Taurus, if you are a Taurus, you'll be feeling this. If you are a Pisces, you'll be feeling this, but you don't have to be. It can be any astrological sign. It doesn't matter. We'll be feeling that. If you really know your chart, like Kelly seems to know her chart, if you really know your chart and where these things are, then it'll really tell you where that's going to affect you and in what area of life. But it doesn't matter. It's good for manifesting to be thinking about your future on Friday and even through the week. It doesn't mean that it's isolated on Friday. Remember, when I give these peak dates, it means that we might be feeling that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so this is kind of the activity for the week. I'm just talking about it's like the peak at that moment is on Friday. Now, the weekend coming up, this coming weekend, I'm almost afraid to say, but it's astrologically pretty quiet. The moon's going to be in Taurus over the next weekend, the 25th and 26th of February. The moon's going to be in Taurus. And so it's just going to be like a milder, nicer sort of weekend. There are going to be lunar transits. Lunar transits are shorter in duration than planetary transits, but otherwise there's not much else going on. So fingers crossed that we have a nice, quiet, peaceful weekend. Kelly said her daughter's sun is sextile the north node of the moon. Oh, and you're going to go to a college visit. See? Well, that's very beneficial for your daughter then. That would be a very beneficial thing. We want to like think about this weekend as like, what do we want to do with our life? Where do we want to manifest? What are we doing? Now, there is a little bit of a stressor coming next Monday. And I'm going to be seeing you guys next Monday after this takes place. So I'm doing this just to kind of like prep you and let you know. Some people like to mark this stuff on their calendar. But on the 27th, Monday the 27th, February 27th, the sun is going to form a square with the moon. And that's what we call the second chance new moon, or the first quarter lunar cycle, or some people call it the second quarter lunar cycle, but that's basically the half moon in the sky. The sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Gemini. They're both mutable signs. So if you are a Pisces, or if you are a Gemini, or even a Virgo or a Sagittarius, you will definitely be feeling this the strongest, but it doesn't matter. It's always like a little, what we call a point of sort of reevaluation. So if you think about, remember, we're planting the new moon, the new seeds today, okay? And then a week later, next Monday, we're going to have a reevaluation. Did we give it enough fertilizer? Are the seeds in the right spot? Do we need to change the soil? What's going on? And so it's just a little moment of reevaluation. There's always like a little bit of a, sometimes we use the word crisis point, but I think a crisis might be too strong for the second chance new moon, because it is a second chance new moon after all. And that's what I say. If you forget to write your list tonight, you forget to write your list by tomorrow morning, the second chance new moon is another chance to manifest. It's another time that we can bring something into our lives that we want to bring into our life, whether that be better relationships, whether that be peace of mind, whether that be a new outfit or a new car, whether that be a new boyfriend or girlfriend, or whatever it is that you want to manifest, a dog or a cat, doesn't matter. If any of you have fun manifestations, please write them below, because we'll put that out to the universe too. I think that would be fun. And so I feel like as if this is a good week. It's more, like I said, of a mild week, except for this really like mega Mercury, Uranus turmoil going on in the beginning of the week. That's going to activate some stuff for people. And again, if you already are a person who is very prone to having anxiety or these like nervous stuff kind of happening, that's not going to make it any better, I'm sorry to say. It can also really be lacking in focus for if you have ADD or ADHD. That can also be something that kind of is weird. But if anybody has any questions for me, now is the time. Type now or forever hold your peace, or at least until next Monday night. So that's basically what the deal is. So we have the new moon today. Venus went into Aries today also. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we have Mercury, Uranus sort of transits happening. Thursday, we have some healing with Saturn and Chiron coming together. And then Friday, we have, like, where do we want to do with our lives? What's the big picture here? What's the plan? And so with the sun forming up beautiful, because the sun, think solar power, right? I mean, the sun can really fire up our hopes, our goals, our dreams, our aspirations on Friday. And like I said, even before Friday, but Friday's the peak of that. And I think that that's a really cool, fun thing. If nobody has any questions for me tonight, I'm just going to pull a collective global card. What do we need to know as we face this week, unless if somebody has a question for me. Yes, Kelly is manifesting that her daughter get accepted to the first choice in college. I love that. Love that. Okay, let's see. Joanne said, "What will I find? What I'm looking for?" You are gonna. I keep telling you. Yay! Gwen said, "Manifesting the money." Yes. Venus in Aries. Go get that bag. Go get the bag of money. Especially through consistent and fulfilling work. I'm gonna do. Ooh, Gwen, I was talking about you when this card just flew out. So I'm going to say that this card for you, Gwen, is speeches and speaking. And this is Archangel Gabriel deck. You have important messages to deliver that can help others. So whether that's teaching, educating, workshops, writing, orating, blogging, whatever thing, videos, this can help. Speeches and speaking, you were talking about manifesting through fulfilling work and something that means a lot to you. So that flew out of the card while I was shuffling the deck, Gwen. So I hope that helps you. Kelly's so sorry. I just had a big giant, I got cards flying out all over here. So many cards. Too many cards to actually read. Oh, Gwen, your podcast. You were thinking, okay, yes, exactly. That's awesome. Well, podcasting is speeches and speaking. I don't have a card that says podcast, but I do have a card that says speeches and speaking, and I feel like that really can be like relatable to that topic for sure. Kelly, what do we need? I'm gonna pull a card for your daughter. Kelly, what does Kelly need to know? Oh, so funny. Helping children. Helping children. Well, you are helping your child, Kelly. That's kind of funny. Unless if your child also wants to help children, like being a pediatrician or a teacher or whatever, the midwife or whatever, that you would be helping children. Part of your life purpose involves teaching, guiding, and helping young people. So I pulled that card, Kelly. I could be for you helping your daughter, but it also could be if your daughter is looking to go into a field where that involves helping other, children, because she's basically an adult child. So I hope that helps, Kelly. Even though you didn't specifically ask me, I just wanted to pull that for you. Yay! Okay, it's for you. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what your daughter's up to. Okay, what do we need to know? We all need to know. And by the way, if you guys ever want to have a personalized astrological session, Kelly says she doesn't like the kids. That's okay. Also, too, that can be for animals as well. Animals that we love as our children. That is a thing too. Our fur babies, in other words. I'm going to pull a card, one collective card. And if you guys ever want to have a personalized astrological session, feel free to contact me, either send me a private message or text message. We can see what we can do about getting you on the schedule. All right. So what do we need to know about all this energy? Mercury, Uranus, new moon, manifesting. You guys are quiet tonight. Okay, so it is saying to retreat, okay? To block out distractions, spend quiet time alone so that you can focus on priorities. Now, this actually makes a lot of sense, because if you think about Mercury, Uranus, all this like activation, the Mars is in there, everything, kind of like being, pulling on our nervous system, pulling on, we feel that reverberation, the shakeups and that all the stuff. And so with this, it's saying ground yourself, find your center, because it's going to be busy. Usually with Mercury stuff, it's very busy, especially since Mars is like, come on, when's that? There's a deadline, So Mars is pushing. Mars is more aggressive. Even Venus in Aries is a little bit more of an aggressive Venus. Okay, even for Venus being usually peaceful and beautiful and lovely, she's being even a little bit more aggressive than normal. So this is saying take your foot off the gas pedal if you can, and find your quiet space in the woods, in your backyard. Maybe in the bathtub. I mean, I'll tell you, sometimes I get my best ideas when I'm in the shower. But anyway, like kind of going inward and finding your peace. It could be, even if you just take a few minutes sitting in your car, like in a parking lot, just to kind of like breathe and sort of get back into the grounding. Even getting your feet on the ground is wonderful. If you can get your feet on the ground, hug a tree, okay, get those feet on the earth. All of that stuff really helps to ground ourselves and to sort of discharge some of that energy buildup that we have going on in our nervous systems. This is about finding time. It doesn't mean we have to take off the entire week and go to the Bahamas, though that would be a wonderful thing to do. But it's more about taking that time and having those moments. Oh yeah, perfect, Melinda. Melinda said, I sat in complete silence and quiet on Sunday. Wonderful experience, just sitting in quiet. Yeah, I mean, even myself, I'm guilty of, I'm a Pisces moon. I love music. And so I always have music on almost all the time. And lately I've been taking times where I don't have music on. I just kind of take a moment to be quiet and like not have all that like clutter, the clutter of the sound, and that can be very grounding as well, even though music does ground me, but sometimes it's just like more noise, and so you want to kind of like get back into your peacefulness if at all possible. Kelly said her Pisces moon as well. Yeah, we're Pisces moon babies, and this is our moon here, our Pisces moon. So yeah, so take that moment for yourself to retreat. And if you can see in the picture here, she's kind of like looking, she's at like a desk and she's like daydreaming out the window, you know what I mean? So I think that that's a great, just taking that moment for you. So I hope that helps everybody this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, to continuing to follow me, to promote my work. I love that you all are very supportive and wonderful. Go ahead and like my YouTube channel, like my TikTok channel, all that good stuff. It's wonderful, wonderful. And I really appreciate all of you so much. So thank you, everybody. Hope you have a good week. Remember, we want to be grounding, and also sending lots and lots of prayers to Turkey and Syria, because they are really in the heart of all this, and it's really kind of crunching down on them. So we want to like give them lots of peace, love, and light, and sending them that good energy. All right, everybody, take care. Namaste, and have a good week. Bye.